so much, Lalit, for that entertaining session. Ladies and gentlemen, please give him a big round of applause. Just so you know, the meeting was actually planned in another way. There were supposed to be more speakers, but luckily, we had Lalit coming up with more topics, that too on the spot, which is in no way easy. So, thank you so much, Lalit. You did a really great job. So now, let's come to Judgment Day. And no, I don't mean Judgment Day. I mean the evaluation session. All the speeches and the overall session will be evaluated. And without any further ado, let me call upon the stage Toastmaster Siraj.
Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, a warm welcome to all of you to this evaluation session. Evaluation is something unique to Toastmasters. You agree with me?
Yes.
There are several organizations in this world which are working for development of people, but nowhere we find evaluation being given so much importance that we give in Toastmasters. What are the objectives of evaluation? There are two important objectives. Whenever you are evaluating someone, what you need to do is motivate the speaker. So whenever you give feedback, you need to give feedback in such a way that the speaker feels motivated and then takes up any project. The second objective is to help the speaker. So when we give some specific feedback and suggestions, the speaker understands what are the areas of improvement, and that leads to tremendous amount of improvement in the speaker. So these are the two important objectives: to motivate speakers and to help in improvement of the speaker. I'm associated with Toastmasters since many years, but I feel that there are some areas where we need to focus on. So I call these as current issues in terms of evaluation. So what are these issues? The first issue is that members who take up evaluation as the responsibility, many times they are not prepared. Sometimes members, as they are entering the hall, they are forced to take up the evaluation. Members don't get the manual of the speaker. It's because of all these issues, members don't prepare. I feel that the way speakers prepare, many times I see speakers coming here and practicing. That kind of preparation is not done by the evaluator. I think we need to focus on that. Secondly, whenever we give feedback, we many times give very, very generic feedback. Okay, each project has certain objectives, each project has a certain guideline. The way we give feedback, it's applicable to all the projects. For example, if I'm evaluating Vijay and if I say he's a very good speaker, he's a passionate speaker, his organization of speech was very good, it's very, very generic. I have to look at what project he's taking up, what are the objectives of the project and how he met the objectives. So I need to focus on that. Let's look at what Rolf Spendling has said. Many times when we take up the evaluation responsibility, with a lot of reluctance we take it up. We don't enjoy, we don't feel privileged. So Dr. Rolf C. Spendling, he says that evaluation is a privilege. In some of his writing, he says that it's a privilege because it's going to transform us. When we evaluate people, we are not only developing other members as leaders, we are also grooming ourselves as leaders. He also says that training in constructive criticism is one of the fundamental responsibilities of Toastmasters. So let me quote one of his statements where he says, "No Toastmaster club is fulfilling its obligation to its members unless it brings them the maximum of training in the art of constructive criticism." So which means the club as a whole must train all the members in how to give feedback, how to receive feedback. There are two kinds of feedback. Whenever we are giving feedback, we must remember that there are two kinds of feedback. One kind of feedback is called as positive feedback. What is positive feedback? When we praise someone, when we say that the speech was good, okay, the organization of speech was good. Whenever we are praising someone, that is positive feedback. And what is the objective of positive feedback? It motivates and inspires the other person. But it doesn't bring improvement. So what brings improvement? It is the negative feedback. Again, negative feedback means when you identify areas of improvement. Okay, so it is negative feedback which actually brings improvement in the members. But negative feedback can be given positively or it can be given negatively. Negative feedback given negatively is called as destructive criticism. It's criticism. On the other hand, negative feedback given properly using the sandwich formula, it's constructive criticism. It is the constructive criticism which is required in Toastmasters. So So with this, let's look at what has happened today. The meeting started exactly at 6:30. Today's meeting number was 1116. It was a special meeting and it's going to be a very memorable meeting. The theme of the day was better to be happy than be right, and the word for the day was redemption. So Shilpa Samuel was the Sergeant Ram. I think she started the meeting in a very dramatic way. So she used a lot of creativity. She did the session in such a way that even different people could have understood what she wanted to communicate. I think that was a great way to begin the meeting. She started the meeting with the band. So let's give her a round of applause. Then we had our president, Mr. Nitin, who gave his presidential address, where he elaborated on the theme of the day. That's a very good way to begin the session. He highlighted, he gave a lot of examples with regard to the theme of the day, and he tried to motivate the members and wanted to leave a mark on the club. Only one suggestion which I have to Mr. Nitin is that in the presidential address, you need to focus on a little bit about Toastmasters, the history of Toastmasters and how it started, how it's going to benefit, what is the mission of Toastmasters. These are few mandatory things which you have to mention every week, because there could be some guests who are present and they should understand the importance of Toastmasters and how Toastmasters is a worldwide movement. Otherwise, if this is not mentioned, then members will think that it's a small group of people getting together. So let's give a round of applause to the President for that. The Toastmaster of the day was Reliable Rahul. He started the session with a quiz, and then he covered up what the President missed out. He gave an introduction to the Toastmaster. He mentioned about Ralph Spelty's contribution, the size of the Toastmaster club. Only one small error which he made was that he mentioned there are 16,000 clubs. I think that may not be correct. It could be more than 2 lakh. No, I think in terms of members, you mentioned 16,000 members. So members are more than 2 lakh. So nevertheless, for his enthusiasm and conducting the meeting in a very, very professional manner, let's give him a round of applause. We had 3 dynamic speakers who enlightened us on a variety of topics. Let's look at the first speaker, was Nikhilesh. He was attempting his first project. He was evaluated by Passionate Prakash. I request Passionate Prakash to come here and give his feedback.
So, general evaluator, Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and Toastmaster Nikhilesh in particular. For a very first speech, to be coming here and saying what you had to say, and the way to say it was something that I would remember for times to come. Let's give him a big applause. The very first speech is your first attempt at getting onto the stage and introducing yourself to the crowd. And you did it with elan. The speech required you to have the clarity in terms of what you are saying, and I felt your voice was reaching to the end of the audience quite well. You had the vocal variety, had the eye contact with the audience, and that's something exemplary for the first speech that you would do on stage. Your gestures were very natural and free-flowing. If I were to give you a couple of suggestions to take this speech from where it was to the next level, a simple change would be to stick to one place on the stage to start with, because at times I felt you were wavering on the stage and that was causing me a little distraction. The other aspect probably could be to manage your time a little better, working with your mentor so that you are able to time and say what all you want to say in your speech and not get a feeling that we are trying to end abruptly. What I liked in particular, having said what I have said, was the natural humor you had and the nice structure that you had given to the speech from the beginning to the end, weaving it with several conversations which helped us connect to what you had to say much better. It was something that I would remember for time to come, and I look forward to more enlightening speeches from you in days to come.
After comprehensive evaluation, I completely agree with your assessment. The second speaker was motivated Manjunath. He was also attempting his icebreaker. He was evaluated by none other than scintillating Sujay. Please give a round of applause.
It was most large for doing adjectives. Regardless, good evening, Toastmaster Manjunath, Toastmasters, yes, of course, evaluator. As much as is your icebreaker for pathways, this is also my icebreaker for evaluating a pathways as well. So we are holding hands and moving forward at the same pace. Firstly, to the guests and other members who are new to pathways, the statement of purpose or purpose statement of his speech was, the purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself or herself to the club and learn the basic structure of public speech. And over there, I felt from the start, which was a very engaging start, considering you played certain narration of numbers. And I think that was something unique, because not most people were not expecting something like that from you, but since I observed you speaking earlier, I knew it's going to be something about the memory. But for the rest, I'm pretty sure it was quite a suspense, and you'll definitely be in their memory. In terms of where I feel you have improvised in your icebreaker, is you chose a topic of interest, and your topic of interest was the mind memory allocation. And over here, this is what your manual requires, that you choose a topic of interest and try to introduce yourself. And that's where you've done very well. So congrats on that. One more key point which I observed in your speech was the humor you brought in. There was an engineering joke about yourself, which was excellent. You had a lot of engineering jokes this evening, and you were one of the contributors. The second thing which I felt was the story, your personal example story, where you were teaching children, and there was a twist, the twist being loose motion. So definitely, there are a lot of good takeaways from your speech, how you brought in a lot of elements. Where I feel you can improve upon is the fact that you were missing your personality. While you were informing us about your field, about what you do during the day, we were sort of missing out on who you really are behind the person who is a trainer. And I felt over there you were rushing up to your childhood part. You rushed in your childhood like Chatakji expressed, from the school to college. And I think in an icebreaker, we require a bit more depth to your personality. And this depth was listening. For example, you could have put a lot more about certain people in your life or characters who define you, because they say that you are defined by 5 people around your life. So maybe you could have brought in 2 or 3 of these people and help us understand you better. Apart from that, where I feel you can challenge yourself more for upcoming speeches, you can probably focus on the tenses in your words, because I think it's important that you also concentrate on vividity, usage of words and English grammar, because sometimes I felt that in your in the pace of saying what you wanted to say, you were not so conscious about that, and that could act against you in a public forum. Having said that, I believe in general the qualities of clarity was definitely there. Vocal variety was well used, like volume was very high, and tone and pace were all right. Eye contact effectively used to decide over here, and you didn't miss the people in the back. And finally, your interest definitely shows that you are extremely passionate about your field, and even got the audience interested in it, and the audience was left wanting for more. With that, all the best to your future speakers.
Our third speaker is having so much passion for public speaking that he has taken up more assignments. Once he evaluated the speaker, now then he also made another presentation. The speaker was Mr. Prakash, who presented an educational talk on the topic pathways. So he covered all the important aspects of the pathway. He gave an introduction to the pathways, how it works, what are the challenges, how members can benefit from that, how does it compare with the regular CC manual, he elaborated everything. So only one suggestion which I had was, if he had used audiovisual aids, if he had used maybe PowerPoint, he could have shown those paths. What is path number 1? What is path number 5? He could have shown how members can progress. Members could have visualized how they can achieve great success using this program. So let's give him a big round of applause. After the pathway session, we had a cake cutting ceremony. It was a great session. I think it's going to be remembered for a very long time. We celebrated the end of this term and get ready for the next term. So let's give a round of applause to those who have organized this. We took a short break for snacks and then we began the fun loving session. It was conducted by Dynamic Dhanush. Let's give him a round of applause. So he created a lot of interest among members. He mentioned why this session is required, what's going to happen, and he also increased the confidence level of members by saying that he has selected only simple topics, easy topics, so that help the members to take part more enthusiastically. Only one suggestion which I have is when we begin this kind of session, that is table topic session, we should mention why this session is there in Toastmasters. Why not have only formal speeches? Why this session? So that is to sharpen our impromptu speaking skills, because in our day-to-day life, we come across with several situations where we have to speak without any preparation. So this session helps us in that direction. So other than that, I think the session was very interesting. A lot of topics were there and more number of members could benefit from this. But some of the senior members like Teresa, I could look at Teresa, she was anxiously wanted to come and present, but maybe she didn't get the opportunity. So I think some more members could have been given the opportunity. So let's once again give him a round of applause. Panel of assignees who are assisting me in conducting this session. It's my privilege to invite Nestor to come here and give us feedback about the timing. Let's give him a round of applause.
The meeting started exactly at 6:30. On the prepared speeches, Nikhilesh took 7 minutes 10 seconds and Manjunath took 6 minutes and 44 seconds. Prakash's education session kept everyone engrossed with questions, so it went to 10 minutes and 34 seconds. On the table, the break was exactly for 14 minutes 53 seconds, so we were on track with that. And on table topics, there was only one Toastmaster who was below a minute, and that was Kumar. Everyone else was under 2.5 minutes.
Thank you. The upcoming was amiable. Adarsh, I request Adarsh to come here and give feedback.
So Shilpa, Nikhilesh and Lalit best controlled their use of 4 words. They had just one or less than one crutch words. Rahul used 8 crutch words and 1 long pause. Manjunath had 2 crutch words. Prakash had 2 crutch words, 2 long pauses and 1 short.
Thank you. The grammarian, Mr. Sumit, I request Sumit to give his feedback.
Today we achieved a decent usage of English all through the meeting, and the word of the day was used twice by Nikhilesh and Abhay each, and that should have been applauded then. And there was a lot of good usage of English, and it's a long list, but I'd like to highlight some of the things which we could have done differently. One, I taken this part and it has an error with the tense and over exaggerated, it's a double negative, and if we did some issue that should have been arranged better, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, Masters and Christine is here. That was the session for you. I hope it was a very enjoyable and memorable session. So let me conclude this. Yes.
G is magic number 1. G has announced magic number for voting. What's the number?
5456.
Yeah, so the magic number is 5456. So please cast your valuable vote. So please repeat.
So for DBS, what will vote?
5456.
It's only for members.
It's the a magic number. So friends, to conclude this session, I would like to once again remind some of the key learnings from this session. Whenever we are evaluating, let's remember the objective of the evaluation, okay? And also be fully prepared to evaluate, and wherever possible, we need to solicit this assignment. If we can do that, then we are going to become potential leaders, and also we can do more potential leaders in this organization. Let's give a big round of applause to all the assignees.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Siraj, for those valuable insights. Definitely, we will consider what you have told us, and we'll try our best to improve from the next meeting onwards. Alright, with that, we are coming to the end of our session. Unfortunately, we have crossed the time limit. So, with that, my role over here is done. But before I go, I just want to ask, how many of you are vegetarians? Now, if someone comes and tells you on your face, chicken biryani is the tastiest things I have ever had, how do you feel? How do you respond?
There is no veg biryani.
So this also relates to the theme that you should be happy with what your ideals are and what your beliefs are, and you should not let any other person come and control your life. So with that, I conclude my role over here, and I would like to hand over the stage to Toastmaster Nitin.
Thank you, Rahul. I would like to mention some things here. When a speaker comes here and delivers a speech, I think most of the Toastmasters know what happens. Even if he's ready, his brain is blank, nothing comes to his mind, and legs are rattling, and things like that are usual to happen. And when a Toastmaster comes, it is multifold. And in case of Rahul, I should give you the background. When he came, he was told 4 speakers. When he entered, only 2 speakers were there. He had to readjust, realign his Toastmasterly act. Then he was told, Toastmaster, the table topic master is going to change. Again, he has to rethink, realign. And there was an error committed. When the evaluator for the first speaker was asked, 2 evaluators stood up. That should have given a warning bell that one was for the other one. Now the second speech went without an evaluation. There was a big confusion happening, but all our aim was to not tell the GE. GE should not know. But I really like this club because the way all the members gather there, and that's why I sit there and GE sits in the corner. All of us gathered and trying to figure out who's the evaluator for the second one. And then comes Sujay and says, I have noted down, I can take up the challenge. Thank you, Sujay, for the wonderful work. And the applause must go to Rahul for showing that courage. If I had not told, nobody would have known, but I thought let me tell so that it is a learning for all of us to how to manage a situation where things are likely to go out of control. Well done, Rahul, well done. Thank you very much. Now, we have an installation happening on Sunday. Our team is going to hand it over to the new committee. All the members, please do come for the installation ceremony. Personal invites have gone to all the members. Come to the family and be there at JP Fortune Hotel at 10:30. Be there at 10:30. We have a chief guest coming and giving. I hope people have called you also. Yes. You had a shocking face, so I was wondering. Right? And we are also happy to announce that the Pathways registration, we are touching the target for 50 members. 50. But yeah, good job. So as Niklesh was saying, from 35 to 40, now we are going to 50%, because out of 100 members, it is 50. So in terms of percentage, we need to improve upon. Since this being a last meeting of the present committee, on behalf of the committee, I would like to thank all the members for giving that kind of a support. And I personally want to thank the committee and the members for standing behind us. Now coming to the awards for the day. The best role taker award for the day goes to the table topic master, Lalit Dhanush. And the best table topic speaker award has been shared by two gentlemen, Toastmaster Vaijanathan and Toastmaster Vijayan. And the best evaluator award goes to Prakash Tamankar. And again, the best speaker has been shared. Two speakers, both of them have got an equal number of voting, Niklesh and Manjunath. With that, we come to the end of meeting 1116. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a good time. Have a good evening and good night. I adjourn meeting 1116. Thank you very much.